and welcome to Sam's on Wrestling. I am the eldest of Sams, which means I've seen almost all of the Rumbles live, and this is the babiest of Sams who's seen 3.
Yes.
And we are Sam's on Wrestling, and this is the Yay and the Nay series. It's pros and cons. It's good and bad. Let's, call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Where we take a wrestling thing and we find the good and the bad, because we are a positive wrestling channel.
Oh, yeah.
So we like to see balance, and sometimes we like to see balance in things that everyone loves as well.
Yes, exactly, because we love the Rumble, but let's not pretend it doesn't have its drawbacks.
Yes, exactly. And we've done other things with people. We sometimes we try and find the good in some bad things, and we actually have an entire series on seeing the bad in some good things. Go watch our See the Good series, such as Jack Swagger's world title reign, Jinder Mahal's world title reign, the anonymous Raw general manager. We've done a few. And we're going to look at the Royal Rumble. We're going to see the goods and the bad. We're going to know all of the things that we can think of, and the goods and the bads of the Royal Rumble. How did you find actually doing this, actually?
I was surprised at the amount of nays, but
I have more nays than goods.
Well, I think my nays are trivial, whereas my yays are very big things.
Literally, that's what I'm going to get into. Most of my nays are... Do you remember this one thing that really annoys me? And the yays are... I'll give you my first yay, but before we get to that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Go follow the Main Event Wrestling Network. My first yay is, what a great match type, Sam.
Exactly. My first one is, it's the best stipulation.
It's the best stipulation of all time.
Yeah. So
there you go. Done.
That's it.
That's the yay. That's the end of that chapter.
Yeah.
That's what we mean. So, there's a lot of...
It's like in Friends, if you've seen Friends, when Ross is doing the pros and cons of Rachel and Julie, it's like he's got all these things for Julie, but then it's like the pros, she's not Rachel. It's like that with the
Actually,
Rumble.
it's not Rachel.
It's not Rachel. Yes.
So this is a great match type.
Yes.
The best stipulation.
Let's get ready to rumble them.
And I'll throw another one in that's very similar. It's the best thing WWE have ever invented.
Ooh.
It's their best invention. I don't think there's been an invention that's better than
good
this.
Even Kai and Tai?
Oh my god, Kai and Tai, choppy, your pee-pee.
Yes.
And they didn't get in the Rumble.
No,
they could never make the
Well,
Rumble.
did they get concussed?
They weren't in the Rumble.
Oh, right, well, yes. They interfered. So even they got injured without being in the Rumble.
And famously, they lost a heat match from 2001 Royal Rumble. The people that lost to didn't get in the Rumble either.
No.
Kai and Tai are just bad luck for the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Can I throw another one in as the positives? Because I think it's more fun to do the negatives, to be honest, because they're going to be much more interesting.
Yes.
It's so much fun, Sam.
It really is.
It's. I know I was just doing a lot of simple ones to kick in. We'll get into the more interesting ones later. But it is just so much fun when it's done right and done correctly. And even if it's done half right, there's so much fun to be had because it's so many things you could actually do within it, which we'll get into a bit later on. Mm. But I think just the concept of it is fun.
Yeah, and I think wrestling fans tend to enjoy the Rumble. The ones I know in person, like yourself and other fans, tend to prefer the Rumble to Mania, because Mania, it's good, but you know what to expect because you've got set match, you've got this one-on-one.
Especially if you're a fan.
Yeah.
Like literally, at WrestleMania 41, me and you did the predictions video, and there were 14 matches, and we got 12 correct. And technically, we got 13 correct, because if we'd have seen if we'd have done the predictions just before WrestleMania, we saw Bayley getting taken out, we both went, well, that's Becky Lynch. Oh, they're winning, because we actually predicted that Liv and Raquel would win.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, well, that's actually going to be Liv's going to lose then, isn't it? It's going to be Becky. So we actually got 13 out of 14. Like, the only one you got wrong was Charlotte and Tiff, because you don't bet against Charlotte. Oh. And the one I got wrong is I thought that Bianca Belair was going to win the triple threat. Yeah. So, and we're both, at the honest, should have got that right as well. So that WrestleMania, 14 out of 14. The Royal Rumble, though, a little bit more mystery.
There's some unpredictability. Even regardless of the result, even if the winner's obvious, the match is still unpredictable. Loads of different stories can be set up.
So let's go through a few names, because you've actually kind of named a few things that are actually names. I'll start with one then, very similar to what you've just said, actually. Has there ever been a shocking winner, really?
Jey Uso was surprising.
I think Jey Uso is the first time I would quantify a shocking winner, but in reality, the most over man in the company at the time.
Well, can you count Cena in 08 because no one expected him to be in it?
But in terms of the person himself.
Yeah, I know, but I'm...
So this was it. Have they ever gone and surprised you with a shocking winner? Like maybe Vince, that one was surprised, but really, but in reality, it was between him and Stone Cold.
People were surprised at Sheamus because everyone thought Jericho was going to
win. But he was also, if you said,
if you're going
to say, if it's not Jericho, who's it going to be? They've never ever pulled a surprise. They've never really shocked. So this is what I said about the predictability. The winners have always been pretty predictable, at least between two.
Yeah, I'm going through the archives. Yeah, I mean, again, in 2022, the worst of all time was Brock, but that was not a return. No one thought he was going to be in it, but it was still rubbish, and it was still Brock.
So they've never really gone shocked.
They've never gone gone a mid card,
and that's my point. So even though Brock wasn't surprised, it was a shock that Brock entered, Cena entered, Edge entered. They're three of the biggest stars of all time, and I think that's another thing is we can sometimes have no surprises, and it can be a bit predictable. And as much as it's predictable between two winners, another thing as well that you have to, when there's been a bad winner that we don't like, the letdown it feels after watching an hour-long match, and you're like, oh, they've won. Oh, it's that. And suddenly you feel like you've been shortchanged. Now, the thing about the Royal Rumble is, generally speaking, baby faces win the Royal Rumble. Because generally speaking, the heel is the the guy going into WrestleMania, so the babyface can overcome it. And in reality, that's what it should be, really. I always think the heel should win the Money in the Bank, and I always believe the face should win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, you've got to switch it up here and there.
Every now and then, when the story is right. But, like, imagine you watch the Royal Rumble with the 40 men, and you go through all of that, 40-man Royal Rumble, and Del Rio wins. It's just such a thing. Yeah. And you feel like you've been kind of shortchanged a little bit.
Well, I think another nay that I actually didn't have as a note. I think because the expectations are so high, it's kind of like Christmas or maybe like New Year's Eve. Like when you're going out for New Year's Eve, the expectations are so high that if it doesn't deliver, or if it's like a 7 out of 10, you do feel a little bit like, oh, that's it for this year. And if it's a bit of a mare rumble, it almost feels bad, even though it was actually all right. Because your expectations are so lofty.
And and even when WWE's bad, we still for some reason went in with great expectations.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah, as an example. I have another thing on fan expectation, but I'm going to do that later.
That's fine.
Okay, because it's actually technically not that, but I'll get to that. But fan expectation is actually quite a much bigger narrative than we realise. However, you've hit the overall arcing narrative of it, which is we all going, come on, Royal Rumble! And then when it's bad, the drop down. So that's a massive drop down. If it's average, that feels like a big drop down as well.
Yeah, even if it's
you're
okay.
Absolutely right.
Well, it's so important to your Mania build as well because it's setting everything up. So if there's some bad decisions made, it just really curtails the hype for Mania. It can really screw with it. It can also completely propel it to another level.
That's what we'll do. Let's say it can start feuds. How about we go that route? So we can obviously, it sets up WrestleMania main event. I'll throw in another positive right here. The buzz all year round for the Royal Rumble, before and after it creates. The buzz, as we said, we're always excited for it all year, effectively. We're excited really good, so it's got a buzz about it. And if it gets it right, and if it really builds WrestleMania, the buzz around it. I think when Cody won and he pointed at Roman while we were buzzing, and there was that buzz again, there was excitement again. Think about the Royal Rumble 2001, just by watching the match, the buzz for WrestleMania 17 was there. It was electric, you could feel it. So the buzz is there. And it starts feuds. There are people where feuds can happen in the match.
Yes.
You know, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle and stuff like that started a feud that went all the way to WrestleMania. The fact that you can start feuds in a match type. How many match types can guarantee start feuds?
Not many. I mean, a Chamber's one of them.
Yeah.
You could do War Games potentially.
You're having to name multi-man matches.
Absolutely.
And they have to usually be with main eventers. You're not going to have, even the Money in the Bank doesn't really start them necessarily unless they're going in with that crux already.
Yeah, I think Heyman turned on.
And that's literally what I had, but the crux was going into that already. And you know what? We'll add one to that. Not only can it start feuds, it can house feuds.
Yeah, it can.
You literally got these multi-man matches where people can come in and go, oh my God, I'm feuding with Ujimaflip. And then Ujimaflip comes out and it can contain this feud as it can carry on the feud. Think Shawn Michaels at Royal Rumble 2006 being eliminated by Shane to carry on the Vince feud. It housed this incredible moment.
Mick Foley, Randy Orton.
Mick Foley, Randy Orton, same Royal Rumble. Chris Benoit winning the Rumble essentially over Paul Heyman. It housed the entire build towards Benoit overcoming the odds of what he was being thrown at on SmackDown to then move to Raw to get away from that. The fact that an entire match site can house multiple feuds at the same time, even the feuds to WrestleMania. We just had The Rock and Austin. It kind of started their feud, but it kind of housed their feud that they've had the entire time, all the way for then to have their stare down, and you're like, there's your WrestleMania match, there it is. Oh, I friggin' love it, Sam. I friggin' love it.
It's the amount of different possibilities. You've got debuts and you've got returns, and you've got those weird crossovers.
Sam, you can't just jump in.
Sorry, Sam. I get carried away.
Hang on then, all right. We've got debuts.
Sorry.
You can't just do that.
Sorry, Sam. I get excited. It's Rumble.
Debuts could also happen. So I'm talking about the debuts.
I mean, think of the debuts that have happened.
AJ Styles.
Oh, one of the best. I mean, Ty Dillinger debuted.
Ty Dillinger, yes. NXT people too.
Yeah, I don't want to say Sami Zayn did debut on Raw, but then he kind of re-debuted.
Yeah, exactly. He did.
There's loads of good examples, and even people earlier on.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely a lot of good debuts.
Vader, I think.
Yeah.
Top of my head.
So it's really great because there's so many eyeballs on that one match.
You've literally beat me to the point. That's a great point.
To throw in someone, especially from NXT, and they get a spot and they do quite well, and the fans are into them because usually Rumble's quite a smart crowd. So if you get a Ty Dillinger, they're going to go crazy. So the casual viewer watches that and goes, oh, he's a big deal, or she's a big deal. They're quite good. And then it's a perfect platform.
Like Rusev got given, 10 minutes in that Royal Rumble or whatever it was, and he looked like a biggish star. He was eliminated by 4 people and all that jazz. 2014, top of my head. And you go, oh, that Rusev bloke. He's quite good, isn't he? And he only lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah, then you remember him for the future. Yeah.
And then, as you said, we've got the returns. We have the returns. Now, I'm going to split this into 2 different spots.
Okay.
We've got returns of injured wrestlers. And to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, they've been better.
Generally.
Yeah, if you think about it, in terms of what they've meant, Cena's return and Edge's return in 2010,
injury, it was also
RVD in 2006, and all these so we had these really, really important returns from injury that have a bigger deal. And most people know they're coming back. When they don't know, it's even better. But these returns, these injury returns, are fabulous at the Royal Rumble. We've had so many injuries in 2025 that people are speculating who could return. And Rumble. So sometimes when you're going, what's the legend, and we'll get to that in a second, who could be the legend be? It's usually a bit of fun, a bit of crack. But the returns are more important because they actually could win, or they actually could have a build.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And then start a storyline from that as well.
Yeah.
It's
housing the feud, or building the feud.
If I was like a main event WWE wrestler, let's just play fantasy for a little bit.
Of course.
If I got injured at some point, I would be looking at the calendar like, if I can come back in December, I'll come back a month. Like, you want to go for the Rumble because it's almost like a bucket list thing to do.
I'm going to Disneyland for Christmas. Later days.
Literally.
See you February 2nd.
My knee's still, it's a little bit shaky.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a walk around.
Yeah.
Where's Space Mountain?
Because you would.
I would.
It's like just almost a rite of passage that you got to do as a wrestler in some ways, to have a Rumble return.
Yeah, I love a Rumble return so much. It just makes you happy when someone is like, yay, they're back.
Yeah, and it injects a bit of life into the match because, I'll get onto this one of my cons. If your roster's not too deep, it can be a problem and really, really show that off in a bad way. So to have even like an MVP, for example, in 2020.
Well, let's throw those down at this point. But are the legends who get to return. And do you know what? As much as what you're going to say is a con, and I absolutely agree with you, I don't care because it's a lovely little nostalgia pop. It's really, really great that you get to go, oh, it's the Godfather! Yay! He gets eliminated after a second, so obviously they're a waste of time. But it's so lovely to see.
They're not a waste of time because
you don't know who's going to come up.
Wrestling is about making you feel things, and if that makes you feel something, even if it's for like 90 seconds, that's what it's about, instead of just a random jobber coming out and lasting 5 minutes.
I agree. I would rather see someone like, DDP or Godfather or something, Gangrel. I'd rather see these like nothing wrestlers technically from years. Sorry, DDP. From years gone by.
Sorry, who you, Vince?
Yeah, sorry about that. These kind of nobody or mid carders who literally who you wouldn't have cared about as much when they were around, but then you're like, I care more for them than JD McDonough. And I love JD McDonough. That's why I've used him as an example.
What a champion.
I freaking love JD McDonough. So, do you know what, Sam? Let's go on to your actual con that you were going to say there. Go for your con, Sam.
So, my con is, if you don't have a deep roster, then it really, really gets exposed.
Oh,
it's 1995,
95, even 96, 97, where they got the joke is they got the day labourers, but they dealt with, I think it was AAA, and they got loads of Mexican wrestlers in. But outside of Mil Mascaras, the rest were like, who's that? Like, the person who came out third was the Latin Lover. And I will forever remember JR going, it's the Latin Lover! And you're like, who's this bloke?
JR's thinking that.
You're right. And there have been Royal Rumbles of relatively more recently that have had the same problem. I think
women's
2012, 2013, I think, first of all, were very weak in terms of the roster depth because we were really running into, have we built any new stars, Vince? No. Oh, is this now becoming a problem at Royal Rumble season, is it? And then you're right, when we got to the women's depth, particularly the first one. And then we're going to do a women's Royal Rumble. Great. Are you going to do 20 women? Because that'd probably be about right. No, we're going to do 30. How many legends are going to come back? 12.
Nearly half the Rumble.
However, if you were a woman at the time, you'd be like, okay, I'm guaranteed to be in the Rumble.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you were a lower card men, you ain't getting the Rumble necessarily.
No.
You aren't going to guarantee that Royal. You're not sat there going, well, I got the Royal Rumble, I'll book that in. You're not there going, I hope I'm in the Royal Rumble. But you're a woman, you're like, I'm going to be in the Rumble.
Exactly.
Like, they still have a problem with the women's depth now. As much people go, the women's roster is stacked. It's like, yeah, it's stacked at the top.
Yeah.
But that mid-card, and they produced 2 mid-card titles and then didn't produce mid-carders. And they're like, oh, we've got a problem. So now you've got this incredible NXT women's division, which is still brilliant. And you're going, let's be honest, they're making up most of the Rumble. And they'll make up a lot of the Rumble this year as well. Yeah. I agree. I think the roster depth is a real problem. Shall I run through a few things that really annoy me?
Sure.
That just annoy me.
Yeah.
Royal Rumbles have become so popular, they're now in arenas, which means the sound sucks. And it also means, and this is the thing I more care about, the ramp is 117 metres wide and 3 miles long, meaning that if a wrestler comes out, it takes them forever to get to the ring, which now means the Royal Rumbles are now so long. So there you go, bang 3 out there for you. Arenas lose the sound. The ramps are so long, which means it takes people ages to get to the ring, especially if you were a saunterer. When Randy Orton enters, he has a light jog because he doesn't know how to run fast, or he walks, and you're like, oh my God. And then it means the Rumbles now are so long because they are taking so long to get to the ring. Like a lot of the times before, and if you look at the times, they went from 90 seconds, they've gone back to 2 minutes again, and now some of them are like 2:30 and stuff like that. It's really bad.
I love what they did in 2017 with The Undertaker. They teleported him in. Brilliant idea.
Don't let him walk.
Let's do more of that. We could have done that with Mark Henry.
I get it, because you could sell the Royal Rumble out 3 or 4 times over. The problem is, it's so long.
Well, I want to build on that point because I'm not a person. I don't like there being 2 nights of Mania or 2 nights of SummerSlam.
I believe there should be 2 nights of the Royal Rumble.
With there being a women's Rumble, 2 Rumbles in one night. I'm sorry, for me, it's too much.
Literally, Sam, look at bullet point number 4.
There we go. Yeah.
2 is a lot.
The more you have of something, the less special it is.
I'm amazed that this isn't 2 nights yet. It could have been announced for all we know, by the way. We're filming this way before the Royal Rumble itself, or any things that get announced for like next year, because they do that sometimes. They go, the Royal Rumble next year will be in, I don't know, the Arctic Circle. But like 2, I'm sorry. I love the Women's Rumble, by the way. I actually think they've been consistently very good, actually. I think the Women's Rumble. I don't think that none of them have been special. I don't think anyone that you could put on a pedestal. I think we enjoyed the 2023 one. I thought was a very good one in general. And I enjoyed the one afterwards, but they've been good.
I like Becky winning in 2019.
Yeah, they've been all good. I don't think they've really been bad outside the 2022, but everything was bad that night. Yeah. So I think they've had 1 bad Rumble, and the rest have been solid. And that's great. Which means, actually, technically, they've been more successful than the men's Rumble. Let's make that clear.
Well, you're stat padding the men's to the mid-90s as well. That's taken its
down. Do you know what?
Even the mid-2010s.
Even since 2018 onwards, I think the women's have probably consistently, if you did it on a score base, have probably been as good as the men.
Probably.
But the difference is, the men had the 2020 Rumble, which was one of the greatest of all time, and the women's haven't had one. That's not the argument we're doing here. We're not saying there shouldn't be a women's Royal Rumble. We shouldn't. We're not saying that. We're actually saying that technically the Money in the Banks should swap round, and the King of the Ring should swap round. So 1 year the men's get Money in the Bank, and the women get Queen of the Ring, and then the next year they swap over, because clearly Triple H does not know how to book 2 Money in the Banks. He clearly doesn't know how to book 2 King of the Rings, and that's a real problem. War Games also have the same problem.
It shouldn't be annual anyway.
Yeah, it shouldn't be annual, but stop. You don't have to equality it. You have to equality the Rumbles. You have no choice.
I think that's definitely a good idea.
This should have been 2 nights, and if you do it 2 nights, you don't need to be in an arena. I mean, they will, but you don't need to be in an arena because you're selling out, so you're going to get as much as you would have done for the arena anyway.
In a stadium?
In a stadium, yeah. Well, because instead of putting in a stadium, put in an arena.
Yeah.
And then you can have the same map, blah, 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 blah.
Agreed. And I think for the crowd as well, it must be very jading to watch. Like, I'm not going to complain if I'm watching 2 Rumbles in one night, but
I think that's the key, really.
It's a lot, isn't it?
I think it's a lot for the fans.
Yeah.
The problem is, as well, is consistently, whichever Rumble has gone on first has usually been the better Rumble.
Yes, and we reviewed the Royal Rumble 2001, and I remember thinking the difference the pacing of the show is so much better, because you can have your like lower card tag team matches and then your world tag match, and you build to everyone's kind of excited for the Rumble. So
but if you've kicked off with a Rumble, you've blown your load.
Yeah, then you're knackered, and then you can't have too many other matches in there because you've got 2 Rumbles to fit in. So maybe you have like 2, maybe 3 matches in there, and then WWE nowadays have to have every match on pay-per-view be a minimum of 20 minutes anyway. So it is too long. Whereas again, if you just have 2 nights, 2 Rumbles on the main event of each night, I think it'd work much better.
Can I throw something out there that has become a real problem? It was a problem beforehand, but it's a real problem now. Autopilot.
Right.
I think they autopilot a lot of Royal Rumbles. And again, this will come to a thing I'm going to talk about later, but it's its own point I wanted to make. That the amount of times they're like, and then we'll do that, and then we'll do that, and then we'll stay in the ring, you just do this. The amount of times that people just kind of enter and nothing happens. Like, they're not building any spots like they used to. When you compare to other Rumbles, like, you take away the Brock thing from 2020, can you name me a spot in the last 10 years that's a spot?
Oh.
Like an overarching spot.
Yeah, I remember there was Gunther lasted a long time.
But that's not a spot.
No, it's not a spot.
That's not a spot.
I'm just talking about memory.
Do you see what I mean? No. Or the fact that you're jogging your memory, there's your clue.
Well, there was the big face-off with Punk, Roman and Cena. That was a thing.
And that is probably the only one I can think of as well.
Yeah.
That was it. So this is my problem. And there's been none in the women's.
There's Jay and Jimmy coming out as 1 and 2.
No, don't count. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean.
No, I know. I'm just trying to...
I'm talking about the other one. 2001, we're talking about you got the hardcore spot. And then the honky tonk man does a whole singing bit. You're literally talking about things that you can remember that you can stick to. 2002, Maven eliminates The Undertaker and then gets absolutely
Austin going on his
battered.
own after that.
Austin going on his own and eliminate people and look at it. You can name these things because they're very, very special.
No, I agree with you.
And I think the Royal Rumbles have gone a little bit on autopilot.
I think that's more of a symptom of current WWE though.
Yes, agree.
The psychology is there less. People aren't going to the Rumble thinking, okay, we've got to do this spot. I remember Punk on that big podcast he did with what's his face, Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
Was actually talking about the Rumble in 2014. He was saying to people, come in and
do something. Do me
with your big move.
He was saying to Rusev,
yeah, exactly.
Because Rusev said, I'll kick you, and he was like, no one cares about you.
This is your debut. Like, just show a big thing, and I think people have gone into that kind of mentality now of, I'll kind of just do this and do that, and they don't think, no, I need to see
this is my moment to shine.
Yeah, and I think they should be a bit more selfish in that regard, and I think that's a symptom of current WWE. I think you're absolutely right, Sam.
But let me talk about a positive, because I pretty much just mentioned it. The famous moments! The thing about a Rumble that you can always get is you can get a famous moment that will live on forever, and it literally can be a thing that's 3 seconds long, 1 minute long, or in some cases like 10 minutes long. I think Shawn and The Undertaker is a famous thing at 2007 Royal Rumble. These things live on in the memory of fans forever and ever and ever. And when you get a Rumble right, or even if you get a moment right, people will remember it so much. I will always remember Maven eliminating The Undertaker. It's one of my favourite. It's arguably the moment that made me fall in love with wrestling full stop. Because I'd been a fan about 4 months at this point. It's my first Royal Rumble. It's my first time I paid for a pay-per-view, I'll point out. Yeah, well, my dad paid for it. And I was 10.
I wouldn't have been past you, Sam.
Pay me!
You had 3 jobs at that point.
No, I kind of did. I did have a job, technically.
Yeah.
But, thanks child labour laws.
Yeah.
But, literally, those moments will live on in the memory. And that's what we're looking for every single year. We are looking for something to attach onto and remember. Let's go through a few of the other positive things that we've already kind of mentioned. Creative spots. Yeah. There is a chance to do something so memorable but creative because of the stipulation that it causes, in terms of who comes out or how they come out, or the feuds that we said,
different
strategies and stuff like that, or people trying to save themselves, or the finish,
alliances.
The finale, alliances. You're absolutely right. The creativity, the actually freedom that you get. This is why I think WWE being on autopilot is a problem, because I don't know why someone hasn't sat down and gone, right, lads, okay, Royal Rumble, I want you to give me one brilliant idea. I want you to give me one. I'm not talking about who wins. I'm talking about give me a thing that can happen in this Rumble that people are going to remember. You give me a thing that will happen. You give me a thing. You give me a thing. I'll take those 4, and then I'll turn it over to Jamie Noble, and he can book the match. Whatever it is. And I don't understand how that's not going.
There should be a list of that. I've got that, and man, it can be booked in so many different ways that actually still haven't been done. And I wish, kind of similar to Money in the Bank, that they would do different things. We've banged on about on this channel before the idea of everyone being eliminated before number 30 comes out, say like the other 2 eliminations.
Which they have now mentioned on TV themselves.
Yes,
now.
They have.
It was on bloody Unreal.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about this since 2012.
Yeah. And number 30 comes out and they don't have to wrestle and they've won the Rumble. It could be this big heel thing, etc. That would be really good. You could have someone randomly come out, that was number 31. The Rock puts himself in there.
Yeah, 31. I think that's a missed opportunity at 31. I think Triple H should have done that in 2016.
Yeah.
Because no one would have expected that. Especially if it had been not immediately after 30. Yeah. If it had been after the person's won and then the clock counts down. Oh my God, that's amazing.
It would, because then number 30 would come out and everyone would go, oh, there's no Triple H. What's going on? And then, no, Sam, think about this. What if it had looked like Dean Ambrose had won the Rumble?
Yes, that's my point, yes.
And then Triple H came out, not Roman.
Oh, it'd be magic. Absolutely magic.
Yeah.
Because you've got so many different ways you could win. Why has nobody not won it yet? Why have you not gone, right, listen, lads, who do you think do we believe could be a match? Like right now, if I was sat there right now, imagine, right? We've got WrestleMania 42 coming up, right, for example. And you're going, do you know what, lads? Let's do a little bit of a reset, okay? Let's not, we've just done the poster that tricked people into thinking it was actually going to be a return, and it turned out it was a poster for WrestleMania 42. You probably have no idea what I'm on about.
Not really.
Of course you don't. You don't.
Watch social media these days.
This is how bad you are as a wrestling fan. They literally had, this was literally before, this was around, Survivor Series, before Survivor Series. They had shoes. On their social media. It was never on Raw or SmackDown, that's why you've not known.
Oh no, I've seen it. Isn't it get like they're walking out of the car, right? So I've seen a bit.
Yeah, so they had shoes, and everyone was like, who's it returning? Is it Gunther? Is it Santos? And it was CM Punk, Brock, Cody, all doing the WrestleMania 42 promo. Right. And I was like, don't pretend you're doing a thing to do a thing. And you're like, whatever. So my point is, we're looking at that, go, look at these 4 people we got in this poster, they're all over 40. And you're like, well, maybe we need to pick someone younger, right? And you go, okay, let's put our heads together. Who can we put in the main event out of nowhere? Okay, Montez Ford. We believe he could be a main eventer. He definitely could. So instead of let's slow build him, let's just strap a rocket and go. Let's use the Royal Rumble. They've never done it.
No, I mean Jay is the closest example, and I respect.
But he was already over and had a world title reign.
No,
a world title match at that
the
point.
Closest. And I
maybe Del Rio,
bonus.
I would say, is probably the closest.
Del Rio, maybe, but he was kind of treated as one of the top guys on SmackDown
already immediately.
Yeah. So I get what you mean. I would have loved to. I'm assuming he's on your list of the pros, Sam. Kofi Kingston.
Here he is.
We'll talk about in terms of how good he is for the Rumble in a sec. I wish they'd done Kofi winning the Rumble, because it would have made perfect sense, because he was that exact...
Well, you gotta remember, they didn't believe it wasn't meant to be Kofi at WrestleMania, right?
No, I'm saying in general at some point.
Yeah, true.
Because everyone did love Kofi. He was absolutely in that category of people would love to see him win. And with the New Day, he was really over. And because it would have worked perfectly thematically, because you could have had him do multiple different creative escapes that Rumble, and he's like the Rumble, like what's the word, specialist. Mm-hmm. So to win the Rumble, the pop would have
You're a Rumble specialist. Never won it.
Never won it. Of course.
But Kane has been in the most Royal Rumbles. Never won one.
No.
Has eliminated the most people. Doesn't eliminate the last man though, has he?
No.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
But Kofi as well.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
I mean, literally stole John Morrison's spot.
Yes.
But every year you were expecting a thing from Kofi.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now I'm gonna do that. Although I'm gonna say now, I'm gonna do that thing now.
Are you gonna do a handstand?
No. Fan expectations have become a problem. Now we're talking the overarching, expecting it to be brilliant, but that's not more than I'm expecting now. I think one of the reasons WWE have gone on autopilot is because they feel they have to do things because fans do this now. They go, "Who's going to be the Iron Man this year?" Meaning you have to have an Iron Man. Whereas I'm looking at all the best ever Royal Rumbles of all time had either a great Iron Man that was memorable or doesn't have one at all.
You don't always need one.
You don't need one. And this is the next thing. We've got this thing like, we're going to have an Iron Man. So the expectation of things to happen. Who's going to return? What legends are going to be there? They're expecting things. So if you don't deliver on that, they complain about it, even if it was something good. So for example, the 2025 Royal Rumble, there were no legends. They didn't really bring anyone back. And people did complain about that Royal Rumble going, well, that was really boring. Where was the legends? And there they go. And Penta was the Iron Man for what reason? And they have got this expectation for things that they expect to happen. And then 1 and 2 needs to be a big deal now because they expect it. And all these things are expected. Who's going to eliminate the most people? And they start doing all of these things that essentially means that they feel that they have to cover it.
Well, what happens is you make an unpredictable thing predictable.
And that's what I think the fans have done. And WWE, being the fact that they are a lazy company, have done that. I really do, and it really bugs me.
Yeah, no, I completely...
Particularly the Iron Man thing, that really bugs me.
Yeah, at times you have to go, okay, the audience want this, but we've got this idea. Let's go and do this instead. And then, if it's good, most of the time people will actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, stop. Just if you're one of these people who goes, I want to go, let's predict who's going to be the Iron Man this year. If your Iron Man is 15 minutes, that's fine as well. They are still the Iron Man, but they're not really an Iron Man. I remember Tess had what? Tess was the Iron Man once. I think it was the 2000 Rumble, and he'd been in for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, also let's look at the fact, 2 things. If you have people, if it's very rare for people to last more than 30 minutes or 40 minutes in the Rumble, when it happens, it's then more of a thing. It's more impressive.
But now it's every single year.
If it happens every time, then it's not impressive. It's not. This is why I was
literally. I tell you what, this is the true fact. Generally speaking, and we were having an argument on the TikTok live. Because it said, who's got the longest time in Royal Rumble history? And I went Gunther. And I was correct, even though people started telling me I was wrong. It was other people. And they were going, I think Roxanne beat that. And my brain went, oh, bollocks, Roxanne lasted ages in the 2025 Royal Rumble. Gone. Gone, because it meant nothing. Because guess what? What did she do in the match? No,
sit in the corner.
That's who was eliminated last, by the way, with a Charlotte Flair.
Is it?
Yeah, that's who it was. It was Roxanne who came. There you go.
I bear that in mind for Sam versus Sam.
We'll do runner-up and Royal Rumbles one day.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. I was like, Roxanne didn't do anything. You can't be an Iron Man and do nothing. Look at the greatest Iron Man performances of all time. Kane eliminated 11 men in really famous spots. Ric Flair just beating the odds to stay in the match to win it. Yeah. That's what an Iron Man should be. Rey Mysterio to win. Doesn't have to win it either. Benoit as well. They don't have to win it. They have to be a part of the match. They have to be a fundamental thing. Like even when Punk Iron Man'd, he did nothing in that match. Because once they did the opening few people when you are the focus, because you're the only person in the ring, Punk went into the corner. You didn't know Punk was there. Admittedly, he had concussion, so I might be being a bit mean.
And he was also kind of deciding he was going to leave during said match. I think he was sitting in the corner thinking, should I go tonight?
Could I Gail Kim this?
Yeah, exactly. Should I grab a mic now and just do a pipe bomb?
But he did nothing. And he was CM Punk. Sam, can I just do a little list?
Go on.
Vince McMahon.
Sure.
Alberto Del Rio.
Okay.
Batista.
2014.
Roman Reigns.
2015.
Triple H. Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, Jey Uso.
How are you doing this to me?
That's a long list.
Just brought the mood down.
That's a long list of bad winners. And the point I was going to make here is I wanted to list all those bad winners because they made us angry and in some cases we booed and not in a heel boo kind of way. When it's bad, it's bad. And when a Royal Rumble is bad, it's like even an average Royal Rumble, as we said, it actually can feel bad, as we talked about earlier. But when it's bad, it's an hour of bad. Think about the Rumbles in 2022. Both of those were so bad, me and you were losing the will. We were getting angrier, and you were making me angry, but not because... But you might get angry because, Brock Lesnar's winning. You're making me angry about how you were doing it. It was driving me up the wall. It was so bad. And do you know what, Sam? I'm going to go even into more detail here.
Go on.
2011 to 2017.
Barren time.
Otherwise known as the dark ages of the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
2016 was kind of alright. Probably the best out of that bunch, but it's a
still,
bad bunch.
But we still booed and we still were unhappy. And people didn't want Roman to win anyway. So the person who were trying to do it, that's why they had Dean go second.
Yeah, which actually worked.
But they had to put Dean second because the Roman thing wasn't working. And Triple H, and then ended with Triple H versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And it made you feel like, Triple H is going to be in the main event at WrestleMania and he's 107. Yeah. Oh my God. And he's just won a 14th world title. Why? He goes, it sucked. Even we all predicted it as well. So it wasn't even like a Triple H. As I said, if you'd come at 31, that'd have been better. But I don't think people realise, and this is the thing, we've talked about this before, I've actually said it, the 2018 Royal Rumbles, they're not great. They're really not, but they're lauded as really great. You're like, no. They just weren't so catastrophically bad, and they had a winner that we liked for the first time since 2010, that we all went, okay, yeah. But in reality, the women's one's a bad Rumble.
Yeah.
Take away the fact they always go
away with a lot because it was
the first one. And then the men's one was meh. Sort of thing.
Good at points.
Exactly, but that's my point. It was meh, good at points. Therefore, it was 6 out of 10.
The end was good. I think the ending's a big deal.
I agreed.
If you end like 2007, not a great Rumble, but it's remembered quite well because it ended.
2007
no, but it's maybe not as good as people say it is.
I agree.
Because of the ending.
I agree. But that's my point, is that I was like, it was a 6 out of 10 Rumble, 6.5 out of 10. But it was lauded as being so great. And I was like, it actually wasn't. But the barren years we'd had, the 7 years prior, was so cataclysmically bad that it was then put over. It's like if you have a series of really bad relationships.
Sure.
Every person you've had has been abusive or been horrible or, not to your liking or whatever. And then you finally date someone who's actually just nice.
Yeah.
Who actually is just nice. They are the greatest thing in the world to you because they actually are just a nice human being.
Yeah.
If you've ever been through a barren run of partners, it doesn't matter who you are or what you are, and then you find someone who's just very pleasant and very nice and amenable, suddenly you're like, I'll marry this person.
But the moral of the story is, don't marry this person. You've got one average relationship after that, and then the 2020 Royal Rumble will
comes in. Yes,
exactly.
It will be there for you.
You wait for that 20 Royal Rumble.
Welcome to Sam's on dating advice.
Yes.
He's been single his entire life.
That's not true. That's false.
He has had a 3-week relationship
6
once.
months. Thank you very much.
He saw them once a week.
Yeah, it wasn't like a therapist thing. It wasn't like a job.
It felt like it. I was on a couch. I handed them £200 at the end.
No, I don't think it was sketchy.
That's prostitution.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's a different thing.
But Sam, can I just name a few things for you?
Of course.
2001.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah.
2010.
You cheered me up.
1992. 2020. When it's great. It's the greatest thing ever!
It is, absolutely.
Here's the thing. I've just named some years, and you'll notice that I said 1992.
You did.
2001. All right, God, okay. I'll throw 2002 in there if you want, technically. Yeah. And then, 2008, 10, and then 20. There's been more bad than good.
Yeah, but the ones that you mentioned that you didn't mention don't necessarily, they're not bad.
No,
it's not in that absolute
my point is, if you think about it, like, if you said, like, if you went through Royal Rumbles and you went, okay, it has to go into 2 categories. Is it a bad Rumble or is it a good Rumble? There are only 2 categories, okay? All right, so you have to determine, so if something is average, you have to determine, is it a 5 or is it a 6? That type of thing. I'm telling you now that I think there are more bad than good.
Well, again, the mid-90s really do pad that out.
Yes, I agree,
But then just as we start to fix the ratio,
we then have a really...
mid-2010s.
So I generally think, the thing you have to think about, there have been more bad than good.
Yeah, but... I don't care.
Yeah. Right, can I just do a speed run of things that I absolutely hate?
Run with them.
Right, boring tropes, I'm going to call them. Feuds entering back-to-back. So literally, if you're in a feud, I'm at 17, you're at 18. Come on. It's lazy, come on. Why can't he be in the ring for another 2 or 3 minutes? Come on. I hate it. People who get eliminated, then go and eliminate somebody else.
Yeah,
I hate
think it should be quite rare to do.
I don't think it should happen at all. I think it's a DQ. Go away. Stop it.
Well, how can you be disqualified from a match that you've already lost?
Finley got disqualified.
Yeah, but then he wasn't already eliminated.
Fines then. 2 feet touching. I hate it. I think it's. Do you want to know why? Because Katie Catanzaro ruined the concept of that by lying on her back with her feet in the air. They're going, every single wrestler should have done this for the last 30 years. And then the thing is, the amount, like, I've always believed in battle royals that it's over the top rope and touching the floor.
I think you're miserable.
Yeah,
I think you need to just get off their back. I think it's fine. The only problem is the commentary mentioned it 1,000 times.
I know, and they mentioned it because of the Shawn Michaels rule.
Well, then Kofi couldn't have done some of his spots if that was the rule.
Only because he messed them up, not because he didn't.
No, because if it's any part of his body touched the floor, he can't do the handstand, etc.
Yeah,
so you're ruining Kofi Kingston. Stop it, Sam. Stop being the... I've got...
Okay, 1 foot then at least.
No!
Music. WWE music right now is such a problem. Def Rebel, I can't believe, are still going. And you watch a Royal Rumble, particularly last year. Did you watch a Rumble, particularly the women's? And you were like, 2, 1. It's them. Okay, cool. That's not what I want to be like. 2, 1. Turn
it up.
Yeah, exactly. Anything. Come on, the music. And filler entrances. Like, if you're going to do filler entrances, do something with them. Royal Rumble 2001, Royal Rumble 2002. If you're just building the ring so someone can eliminate them, that's great. So I don't mind people who fill the ring so that someone could come in and eliminate 7 in 2 minutes.
No, I know. That's great. You still have to have something going on.
Yeah, granted. But I'm talking about people who are a filler entrance and they don't do anything and they just kind of get eliminated.
They don't know, so like everyone's still in the corner trying to eliminate people, like hugging each other, and then like Crash Holly comes in and he goes, and it's like, okay.
And then you get the worst ones. Let's say someone like Test, for example, is in the Royal Rumble, right? And Test comes in, and Test wasn't a big deal. I'm not saying he was a filler entrant, but he's not going to win, and he doesn't do any spots, and then he gets eliminated by like Albert, another nobody person. You're like, well, that was pointless. You either should be eliminated by a star. No jobber should eliminate anyone, or it should mean something, the elimination, or it should be a good spot. Think Gene Snitsky eliminating Paul London. Yeah. Gene Snitsky wasn't going to win, but it was a great spot. Yeah. I'd like to finish on some positivity, Sam.
Sure.
And I will finish on the most obvious one that we've kind of already mentioned, but we're going to finish on anyway. It is the biggest stakes match in the entirety of wrestling.
Yeah.
It has been watered down by the fact that they don't main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'll point that out. I'm just going to throw that out there, that if you don't main event at WrestleMania, even though there are 2 nights and you don't have a main event at WrestleMania, I mean, that's the problem I actually have with the match. If you're going to have something main event at WrestleMania, unless it's a non-title, there's nothing you can go around that. And yes, I do believe sometimes non-title should be the main event at WrestleMania. John Cena versus The Rock at 28 was the main event of WrestleMania, right? Let's just make that absolutely clear. And I was also happy with Stone Cold Kevin Owens also main event in WrestleMania as well, as an example. But like, if you're this is why sometimes you need I don't mind a predictable winner if it's going to get you to WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes should have won both Royal Rumbles. He main evented both WrestleMania. It's fine. Go for it. And have the women main event, but that's not this one. So I'm going to say it's the biggest stakes match Money in the Bank should be equal to that, but it's not because of the way it's booked. But the Royal Rumble is one of the biggest stake match, and that's why we're excited, because it actually matters. And when wrestling matters, everyone will care.
Yes.
That's why matches on Raw and SmackDown should mean something. It should build towards something every single time you do it. Either build towards a feud, or build towards a misunderstanding, or a storyline, a story plot point happens, or a number one contenders, or a title match, something. Sam, have you got any others you would like to throw out there just at the end?
I have one more con, and it's a horrible con that the existence of the Royal Rumble indirectly or kind of directly led to the greatest Royal Rumble happening.
Oh my God!
And
Why did you
therefore,
end
I
on
will
it?
never forgive it.
No!
I had to say it, Sam.
No!
However, I can cheer you up with one thing, Sam.
No!
I know. I had to
Watch
say
our
it.
video on seeing the good in the greatest Royal Rumble.
Exactly, a little ad for you there. I can name one more pro, which is it plays perfectly to the psychology of fans and short-term attention spans. Going, oh, here's a new person.
Weirdly, it's a TikTok thing.
Yeah.
But it lasts an hour.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. But it's all like it's basically just loads of run-ins, which fans love a run-in.
They do love run-ins. Yeah, that is what we got. So what else? Have you got to think of any other pros and cons? If there's any pros and cons you think that we've said that you don't agree with, please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you for another yay and nay another time, where we will take down even the biggest things. One day we'll yay and nay a WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much. We'll see you again.